Now I know what you're thinking. Did I shoot 5 times or 6? You feeling lucky, punk? Now I've waited a long time to talk about this game. This is Cyberpunk 2077. The latest update, it finally kind of fixed a lot of the major problems, and, well, I thought this is a good opportunity to take a look. Now, I say all this because I'm not completely aware of how those bugs express themselves. I didn't see a whole lot of that myself, other than some compilation videos, so I'm not going to address each of the changes. Otherwise, again, that could be an entire day's worth of video. But, well, what was my first impression? I thought this game is, well, it's really trying. And what I mean by that is there's a huge amount of ambient kind of culture going on. You look in this world, there's a whole lot of backstory behind just about every little piece. These characters are really fleshed out, full characters. They each have their own kind of story that they tell you. You can make these decisions to kind of wrap that around your story, however you choose. And I tried to look at one aspect of this game, but got blinded by holy everything is going on. And it was, well, quite impressive. I'm glad I really waited this amount of time to get into the game, because if I had played it at launch, I would have been soured and I would never have picked it up again. In the beginning of this game, I expected a little bit more of an open world. Now, it is quite a giant map. It is an open world, technically. You have kind of a smaller area that you're relegated to at the beginning, but it opens up after that. But it just didn't really have that kind of go anywhere feeling, because of the main missions, how it starts off. They're very, well, attended to missions. A lot of the times you're with a character, there's a lot of dialogue going on, and I was kind of annoyed by that at first. I thought, oh, come on, I just want to play the game. I'm mashing through conversations, and then I had that moment where I thought, no, this is wrong. You can't do something like that in a major story-based game. You know, you're not going to play Mass Effect and mash through conversation. Not the first time around. So, well, let's put a little bit more care into it. And when I did, I was completely blown away. There's a huge amount of storyline, and I can just imagine, you know, the writers sitting down at a table for, well, how many years has it been in development now? Let's not let that get out of sight here. The CD Projekt Red put an absolute massive amount of time into this game, and for it to fall flat with that launch was, that was just tragedy for everyone, really. One thing I didn't like so much about the early game is that there's a lot of choices you make, and they feel like very heavy choices. Do I trust Dex? Do I go with the police version of, you know, the leader there? Do I listen to all of them and kind of play nice? Do I go the renegade route and just, you know, everybody out of my face, this is my mission? I was kind of faced with those choices a little bit too early, before I really knew what I was deciding on. But that aside, you get into this kind of more free agent time. You're able to go through the city and take a look around, and that's when the game really starts getting fun, instead of just impressive. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can play the game. You can go more of a stealth-based character. That's generally my kind of thing. And you can do a lot of this hacking to kind of compromise enemies, and then sniper them if you're able. There's a lot of different player choice into each kind of room, almost. Not even just the mission, but you get into these kind of rooms and, okay, no, I need to go quiet. There's too many people around here. And, well, that kind of gets me to a second point. The difficulty is quite extreme if you choose the wrong kind of character. So what I was doing was stealth. There's a lot of these kind of rogue people that you need to track down, and every single one of them was not a stealth encounter. Not nearly at all. It began usually with a, hey, how are ya? It quickly goes into swearing and expletive, and then guns come out, and that's just the way it goes. I had a real hard time with the gunfights just because my character was not built that way. The characters are all really interesting. I don't like all of them. You know, Dex kind of bugs me. I'm not sure why. Your companion with you from the start, he's kind of annoying at first, but he ends up becoming a lot more likable. There's some of these other mission givers that I'm thinking, okay, I wish you were the main focus of the game. But the characters are just really well done. I'm not so sure I appreciate Keanu Reeves' performance in this one, but it's not bad. It's just a personal choice. And all of the voice acting is all done really well. You get beyond the different character work and you start taking a look at the city, and that's kind of, well, one of the less impressive aspects to me. It's just not the kind of city that I expected, and I'm not quite sure if I was just looking for more of a Watch Dogs kind of scenario or the cityscape, but it certainly has its own character to it, but it was just a little busy. Like, I'm moving around certain areas and I can't go where I want to go because it's just kind of locked off with buildings. I want to get to that courtyard. Well, I have to find the exact trail. After the latest update that came out, I have not found many bugs, and I say many. There's some kind of clipping issues where characters are kind of bumping into objects and kind of passing through them. Nothing game-breaking at all. I remember seeing some clips of NPCs that give quests just literally exploding, and as hilarious as that would have been, I actually would have enjoyed that. That did not happen in this game, and we're all better off for it. They really did seem to iron out most of the kinks in this game, and well, it's not nearly a bad game. That would do this a huge disservice. If you believe this game is a bad game still, I really encourage you just approach it with a new set of open eyes and just, you know, give it a little bit of a starter time because it is a little bit of a slow beginning, but if you enjoy any of the storytelling, if you enjoy any of the world, any of this crazy neo-future, well, you're gonna find something that you like here. Now, unfortunately, I don't have time to get through to every little aspect of the game. I can only speak in some kind of generalities, but what I found is quite impressive, and I was entering this with a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. To summarize, there's a lot of things that I found really impressive. I like the gunplay, even though it's really difficult. I like the difficulty, though. I like that storytelling, I like the characters, at least most of them. The world looks really interesting, and the game is beautiful. Whether I'm satisfied with the world or not, it is fun to go through, and it's absolutely massive. There has to be a part of it I do enjoy. So, if I could, sum this up really quickly, I love where this game is, and I hated where it began from. And if my testimony can open the eyes to any player out there to get back into it, if you were curious, I definitely recommend play this game in its current state, and it's only gonna get better. No multiplayer does hurt, but again, I don't know how that would fit in so well. Unless they do kind of a Far Cry thing, I think that would just get a little too messy, but all in all, I had a great time with this game. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. And that surprises me. If you had asked me a month ago, it wouldn't have been the high score at all. A perfect example of redemption. Cyberpunk is a very respectable FPS RPG, and proof that a disaster can be fixed with enough effort and determination.
No, he's alive, well, and kicking. And he sends his regards.